There's this really powerful idea that has kind of quietly reshaped how we all think about influence and success. It's called servant leadership. And today, we're going to trace how this huge concept went from the pages of best-selling books right into our everyday lives. And, maybe most importantly, what it means for you. Okay, just think about that for a second. What do they have in common? Well, the answer connects some of the biggest thinkers of our time with the people who have had a real personal impact on you and me. And that connection, that is the absolute core of what we're diving into today. All right, to really get this, we've got to look at the modern era, starting around the 1970s. This is when the whole conversation about what it means to be a leader just started to shift, all thanks to a few key voices who brought these incredible ideas to the forefront. And this quote right here from John C. Maxwell, it just perfectly captures that huge shift in thinking. He's basically saying leadership isn't about being the boss anymore. No, it's not creating an environment where other people can succeed. That is a fundamental change, and it's all about empowerment. And look, Maxwell wasn't alone in this, not by a long shot. Over the last 50 years or so, you've had this wave of thinkers, guys like Dale Carnegie, Steven Covey, and of course, Simon Sinek more recently. They're the ones who really made this philosophy a household idea. Their books, their talks, they made millions of us stop and rethink what it truly means to be a leader. So what are the big ideas that all these incredible minds share? Let's kind of boil it all down to the core principles, the stuff that really defines servant leadership today. Okay, it really comes down to this. First off, putting the needs of your team before your own. It's about really listening, like with actual empathy. It's about being genuinely committed to helping them grow. And a huge one, empowering them to take ownership of their work. And at the end of the day, it's about leading with integrity and humility and leaving your ego at the door. These are the pillars, right? This is the foundation of the whole philosophy. But here's where the story takes a really cool turn. Because while all those famous authors did an amazing job popularizing these ideas, the most powerful examples of leadership, they aren't always on a big stage with a microphone. No way. They're happening all around us, literally every single day. And this chart, it just illustrates the point perfectly. I mean, look, you've got the big names like Sinek and Covey right next to people like Matt Scott and Brent Garrison. And their core ideas, empowering the vision of your people, serving those closest to you, it just goes to show you this isn't just some high-level theory. These ideas are being put into practice by real leaders at every single level. And that brings us to a really critical question. Is this kind of impact, this incredible leadership, is it just for the authors and the keynote speakers? Is it something you can only read about in a book? The answer, and I mean this, is a powerful, definitive no. And here it is. This is the absolute heart of the message. The author dedicates his work not to the famous people on stage, but to all the forgotten leaders out there. The ones doing the best they can with what they've got, quietly changing the world, one person at a time, with zero recognition. And then he goes on to name names. And we're not talking about more business gurus. We're talking about people like Elizabeth Waite, and even his own brothers, Caleb and Josh. And that's what makes this so real, right? It shows us that the true world changers, well, they might be your boss, your mentor, or even someone in your own family. So how do these everyday leaders actually change the world? Well, it happens through something you can think of as a powerful ripple effect. One small act of service multiplies and spreads way, way beyond that first interaction. Okay, let's just walk through it. It all starts with one leader making a choice to serve one individual. That person then feels seen, they feel valued, they feel empowered. And what do? Well, in turn, they're inspired to treat other people with that same respect and care. It's a chain reaction, and that is what strengthens teams, families, and whole communities. So, here's the crucial point, the real message behind all this. True leadership, it isn't about fame or how many followers you have. It's not a theory in a book or a fancy title in a business card. It's all about living it. It's a daily practice. It's about how you show up and how you treat the people around you. And this is exactly why it matters so much. When your leadership is all about serving the best interests of the people you lead, the impact is just profound. It doesn't just help your team, it creates this positive force that makes the whole world a little bit better. Okay, and that brings us to the final and honestly the most important part of this whole explainer. This is where we turn the spotlight on you. It's about recognizing the leader that's already inside you, right now, no matter what your job title says. In this chart, it makes such a critical distinction. Look, a title, that's just a position you hold. It's something that's given to you, and it comes with authority. But being a leader, that's about the person you are. That's about influence. And influence is something you have to earn. And this right here is the key takeaway. Leadership is for everyone. It is accessible to every single one of us. I don't care if you're a CEO or you just started a new job yesterday. Whether you're experienced or just emerging, you have the capacity to be this kind of leader right where you are right now. So, as we wrap this up, I really want to leave you with this one question to think about. A title doesn't make a leader. Your actions do. So who will you serve today? Because ultimately, the choice to lead with a servant's mindset, well, that's a choice you get to make every single day. Thanks so much for joining me.